What a mess. That's alright though. I'm planning out LEDs for my Axial SCX10 for this body here. What I want to do is I want to have two 5mm LED headlights, white, or then two 3mm yellow to look kind of like running lights. That'll be the front. Then in the back, two 3mm and a red LEDs in a housing in the back. So I'm going to show you how I think I'm going to accomplish this. What I did is I bought two of these kits from Axial, AX80045. They're lighting kits. I got two bags of these. This is the remainder of the one. I haven't opened that new one there. And then I bought an assortment of LEDs. These are actually pretty old. Radio Shack, I think, is out of business. But those are 5mm high brightness white LEDs. And note, keep the bags for these because they got specs on the back that you need to calculate how to wire them. I also bought 3mm red LEDs. These are going to be the ones that will go in the back. And then these guys here, and it's just an assortment of stuff I've collected over the years, but these are 3mm clear yellow, and you can see the part number right there from NTE, I guess. Alright, and the way this is going to work is when you look in the kit, there'll be two sets of housings. This is for the 5mm LEDs. And this one's completely assembled, and the way it works, this one I haven't finished yet, is you'll cut off a little white lens, and I use an X-Acto knife to get all the flashing off, and you'll snap that into place. Then your 5mm LED will go right there in the back, and then you get this off the parts tree or whatever, and you'll screw that down, and that'll hold it in place. And then what I'm going to do to really secure it is I will fill this with glue, this void in here, with a little bit either hot glue or epoxy. And then it also comes with this piece here that slides over top. So the idea is I'm going to, I need to clean that up. I'm going to cut a hole in the body as precisely as I can that is exactly that shape, and that's going to be the real trick, honestly. I'll probably cut it small and then file it out. Then you'll put this through the front of the body like that, and then on the back side I'll have this to clamp it, and then the RC shell will be sandwiched in between there and it'll be clamped in. So hopefully this works. Now I'm going to do this 6 times. So the front fog light, running lights, headlights, and then the rear lights. I'm going to set some of this up and I'll show you what it's going to look like. Got everything wired up to my breadboard. And note, you'll have to use resistors. This is going to be 6 volts. That's what my BEC puts out, 6 volts. So you can just use 4 AA batteries. If you don't understand any of this stuff, just Google it. There's plenty of other people who have tutorials on how to wire up LEDs. So, here we go. That's about what it'll look like, hopefully. So you got the 2 tail lights, front running lights. I'm not going to do rears because there's really no place on the body to put rear ones. I might, we'll see. And then the 2 headlights. Alright, so I'm going to start cutting the holes into the body. I got one light installed. That's what it ended up looking like. It's a press fit. There's the hole. Fits nice and snug. Give it a little press and it sticks in there. Then I'll put the retainer on the back. Okay, now how I did this, I'm not going to lie, this is going to be a labor of love because this is time consuming. I started off by punching a pretty big hole so that I could get my Dremel in there, and very carefully and slowly Dremel it. Once I got it pretty close, jeweler's files, especially the flat and the round one, and it took me 15, maybe 20 minutes for that hole. I also had to get some of these tools, so it should go quicker now. So here we go. And there we have it. A little bit of time, a little bit of effort, patience. Boom. There are the holes in the rear. I'm going to go ahead and install the lights. Alright, there are the light housings and LEDs are installed, front and back. And that's what it looks like underneath. Now it's time to wire. Alright, the body is done. That's what the front ended up looking like. The back. And this is how I wired it. It's a pigtail where I'm going to plug it in to the truck. And I just used a little bit of hot glue to hold the wires in place. And there's some hot glue here. That's basically it. The whole project took 4 hours. Basically 4 hours. And again, if you want to learn how to do the wiring and the calculations for, you got to put resistors in for some of the LEDs depending on what voltage you're running. There's a ton of information online about that, videos about it. I'm not going to get into it, but I just want to show you the way that I wire these things. So I'm going to put it on the truck and power it up, and you can have a look at it. So I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. The winch does work. If you're wondering, here's the back end. So I have two LEDs down here. These are 5mm. And then I've got the two up here, which are the 3mm. And then in the front, I've got these two are 5mm. These two are 3mm. And these guys, these white ones down here, are 5mm. And the winch is from rc4wheeldrive.com. It's an older one. I think they have new ones now, different styles, different models. But it still works well. So I hope you enjoyed the video. This is actually going to be the first in a series of, basically I'm going to do RC tips and builds. I've been doing RC for probably close to 20 years. So I feel like I've learned a lot, and I just want to share those tips with you guys and show you some cool stuff. So if you enjoyed it, go ahead and hit that like button. Please subscribe, and thanks for watching. We will see you later.